My mom died of cancer and it tore me apart. Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Brian and this is the Ivy Cancer Podcast. The death of my mom had inspired me to interview people with cancer or who have been affected to help spread awareness. The broader my subscribers are, the more people will be motivated to share their story. So if you come across this platform and you would like to help me achieve this goal, please hit the subscribe button. It will be greatly appreciated. A video will be uploaded every Wednesday. Thank you. Good evening, guys. Welcome to another episode of Ivy Cancer Podcast, where we discuss real topics, real issues surrounding sickness, health, and the main topic, cancer. Tonight we have our guest, my very own daughter,
Joanna Rodriguez, the best daughter ever.
Okay then. How are you doing, Joanna?
I'm doing fine at the moment.
Only fine?
Yeah,
Okay, that's good. As long as you're fine, I am fine, right?
I'm into that.
Yeah. So, you're well aware that we are here to speak about your loss, which is your grandma, and how it had impacted you. And but first, before we get into that, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I like that question then, I like that because I don't know what to do about myself. But I am 20 years old. I love God. And I love to help people. I would say that's it. There's not much about myself.
What was your growing up like?
Hard, good, hard, good. I lived with my mom's mom at first. That was good. Then I lived with my aunt. That was kind of rough, but good at the same time. Then I moved to my grandmother. Then I moved to my grandmother. And that was good and hard at the same time because grandma is strict, but she's also nice. I didn't get much freedom. I was like a house rat. And then I lived with my dad, So, yeah.
So basically, you're saying your growing up was a bit rough.
Not really.
You didn't remember much when you were much smaller, but after me and your mom split, we decided to share duties. So she took you onto her wings.
I don't remember that.
And I took Roshika onto my wings. And you grew with your mom to a certain point in your life.
At 3 years old.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Okay. And then you left when you were probably about 5, 6 to your aunt. And then obviously to your grandma. Do you remember your younger days when you just moved in with your grandma? What was it like?
No, I don't remember.
Okay. But you said she was strict.
But I know about that part because since I was a teenager. Well, little before teenager, going into teenager then. Yeah.
Did you not like the strictness?
Not then, but no. I know why she was strict because if she wasn't strict now, if she was strict then I wouldn't be the person I am today.
So you give her credit?
Yeah.
For that?
She knew what she was doing.
Okay. What school did you attend in primary school?
I attended Peach Grove Primary, and I attended Naga Primary School, the best primary school.
Why did you give Nagahead that high regards?
Because the experience of that day, I know, was nice. Peach Grove was nice also, but I was only there till second grade.
Okay. So your grandma, she died of cancer, and it tore every one of us apart.
Mm-hmm.
But how did that impact you?
Because grandma usually be the one that in my ears every second of the day. You need to get yourself right with God in a John. Everything was about God. And, you know, she was the person for the family who prays, read the Bible, everything. And now that she's gone, don't have much of that anymore. Don't have anyone in my ears. You know, even though it was annoying sometimes, not saying whatever she said me about God is annoying, but like makes me feel a bit guilty of not living right. But I kind of miss that now because I just be living, basically.
So you miss the part when she used to stay, you know, go to church, and she basically guide you on the right path.
Mm-hmm.
What else do you miss about her?
The clown in her. She would just be a clown for us. And we would just sometimes we usually like play gospel music and we rock and we'll sing and everything. And I miss in that time I didn't like she bothering me to hang out clothes, going to the shop, cook, all that. At the same time it wasn't a problem, but now I don't have it anymore, so I kinda miss it.
Do you feel empty that you do not have those things anymore that's come from her?
Yes, I do. And it still feels unreal that she is not here anymore.
When you first heard that she was in the hospital, but you didn't know what was happening to her, why she was in and out of the hospital, you know, what were some of the thoughts that came to your head at that point?
Could you repeat that, please?
So, when you heard that she was in the hospital,
Mm-hmm.
but you didn't know what was she in the hospital for at the time,
Mm-hmm.
but she was constantly going in and out the hospital, what were some of the thoughts that came to your head at that time?
Grandma never normally sick, so grandma, I don't know grandma if sick and I go in the hospital. If she's supposed to be sick, it's like just cold and she get rid of that easily. With just some bush. Next day, 2 days gone. So it was weird knowing that she's in and out of the hospital.
Okay. I remember when I first heard that she had cancer, and I didn't know how to feel or how to react. What about you?
I didn't know what to take from it. I didn't know what really to think. Like, I didn't know that grandma had cancer. Like, it just came out of nowhere. And I couldn't understand how she got that.
Do you remember when she got that, when she fell and hit her breast? Do you remember that time?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that may be a cause?
Well, yeah, maybe, but you know, a lot of times I hit my breast and nothing is wrong with me, so I don't know. Probably because of her age.
Yeah, because with research has proven that women tend to get breast cancer a lot when they reach in their 50s, going up towards the 60s and stuff. And she was well over that period. And they also, research also shows that it could be a genetic thing. So it could be a part played in different, maybe,
some of those reasons. So even though you're young and you hit your breasts oftentimes, it doesn't mean that, I just think that is something that you may have to look out for when you get more older, because I think cancer run in our family, and it may not be something that we want or to accept, but it is something that runs in our family, and all of us should take note and be careful.
Who else had cancer than grandma?
Auntie Verna has brain tumor. And my uncle, both my uncle had prostate cancer. And a cousin of ours breast cancer, and a male removed prostate cancer as well. So it's quite a few persons.
I didn't know all of that.
Well, sometimes it's good to study our, family history, but how can we really study? Because I never knew all of these things until my mom passed. When I started doing researches, and I know that if several persons in your family get cancer, or died from cancer, or affected in cancer with different ways, then it can be that, it's a genetic thing that runs in our family. So it is something that we all should take note of and be more, active, I would say, or, checks. Make sure that we do checks, especially females, check your lymph nodes, your armpits, your breasts, feel for unnecessary, any kind of lumps. There's this video, you can type it in on YouTube, they show you how to check for lumps and stuff. It mainly be underneath your armpit. So feel it, observe your body. When you're in the mirror, check and so forth, and see if there's any unusual or uninvited lumps. And also any form of secretion from your breasts that's not supposed to, like fluid, stuff like that. And itchiness. I think one of the reasons why your grandma had decided to go and do her checkup was because she was feeling some form of pain and her breast was itching, and that's what led to her to go and do these checks. So it's good to check. When you heard that she had cancer, you was in the UK, is that correct?
I was in the UK.
So knowing that you couldn't be there for her as she was always there for you, did that make you feel some type of way, like helpless?
Physically yes, but socially I was still there for her. I was still checking up on her. I would sometimes do devotion with her and whatever, praying with her and everything, just to like keep her faith on the right path, like to not let her lose faith that she's gonna die or something. I was there to like try to help boost it up and everything, even though me myself, like my faith was like up down every time, but yeah.
So you was there as a rock for her then?
I would say that, yeah.
Do you pray for her?
Yeah, I did.
What was your communication like with your grandma?
It was good. Well, it wasn't good at when I was growing up, but then as I grew older and older, it got more and when I got more close and everything. I was always I was always her tail. Basically, like she wanted to go to the mall. She said, "Do you want to follow me to the mall now?" Or if she want like if she going to country, she want me to come to country with her and everything. What else? Basically anything that she wanted, anywhere or anything that she wanted, I would just be there to help her or go there with her or anything. So I would say it was good, it was close.
So when you was in the UK, and what was that communication like while you were in the UK and she was in Jamaica?
Well, we would talk, but we didn't talk every day. And Joe would check up like, hey grandma, you okay? Or she would say, oh my grandmother, my granddaughter, alright. And Jojo, yeah, alright Jojo, or whatever. She would check up on me and I'll check up on her.
Okay. She was diagnosed with cancer in January of this year. And we were in the UK. And when we decided to go to Jamaica, there was some financial difficulties. But you were adamant that you wanted to come. Why were you so persistent to come at that point? Because we never knew our destiny then. So why were you so persistent to come at that first trip?
Because I didn't know if she would pass before, so I wanted the opportunity to see her before.
So in some ways you were thinking maybe she would pass, or maybe she would live. But what were your hope? Was you hoping that she could make it through?
Of course, I always tell her like, Grandma, this is going to be a big testimony and everyone's going to look at you and say, whoa, God done a great job with you and everything. I was like, Grandma, after this you're going to stand up on your foot, you're going to run everything. And you just thank God every single day, because we would think that it would be impossible, but it was possible with God. That was my thought, that she would be okay, that she would be good. It was going to be a great testimony that God helped her through cancer.
You were one of the most optimistic one, even when everyone was having doubts, when everyone's faith was lacking. You were persistent. You were there saying, oh, stop saying this, grandma is going to make it, grandma is going to make it. Why were your faith so strong at that time?
To be honest, I don't know. I felt like it was a test from God, like to pray to Him and everything, like to just worship Him more or whatever, you know, because God gives us all tests. So I thought this was one of the tests where He would test our faith. So I wanted to show Him that my faith is still there, my faith is still strong. I still believe in Him, that He does miracles. So I didn't want to fail the test. So I tried my best in showing Him that I had faith in Him and believing that He would help Grandma to recover from cancer.
So when you finally make it to Jamaica and you went to look for her and she was in the hospital, you spent some time with her. What are some of the stuff that you guys spoke about?
Well, we did chat people in the place, and we didn't really talk much. Only thing is like, we just talked to her because she couldn't really breathe normal, like she had short of breath. So I didn't really want to like let her talk too much. So like I would just turn on some gospel music and I would read the Bible to her and everything. And I would be the one talking to her, telling her that God's gonna do this for her. It's gonna be a testimony, a big, big testimony and everything.
Okay. So, like, do you think you got enough time with her, like, visiting hours? Do you think you got enough time to spend with her?
I didn't.
Do you wanted more time?
Yeah, I wanted more time, of course. because as I said, I didn't know when she would go, so I wanted to spend as much time as I could with her.
At one point, I was speaking to you on the phone. I don't know if you remember, but the doctor, you spoke with the doctor directly, and the doctor had explained that she had stage 4 cancer, and she wanted the result for the first biopsy that she had done. But when you heard the doctor state that she had stage 4 cancer, what did that mean to you? Did you understand what stage 4 cancer was at the time?
Yeah, it's the worst cancer. It's the worst stage.
They also said that the cancer was aggressive. Did you understand what all of that meant?
Yeah, it meant that the cancer was spreading in our body fast. It's not like the normal cancer where it takes its time to go to other places. That one, it just rushed to different places. So yeah, I understood.
Did it came as a shock to you because at first she never had any cancer, but then she was diagnosed in January in the hospital, stage 4 cancer. So did it come like a surprise to you that she had stage 4 cancer just like that?
Yeah, because I was shocked because one thing I knew is that she was sick. The next thing I heard, she had stage 4 cancer. So I was like, would that come from grandma gets cancer in no time? Like, I didn't know.
Well, she went and do a biopsy and she got the result within 2 weeks time.
Mm-hmm.
And that result stated that she had benign tumor. But when they gave her a follow-up to do, and she went to do the follow-up, and she done the follow-up, they said that she should come back for the results within 2 weeks time, but she never got it. Went back. But then she never knew if she had cancer. But when she was in the hospital, she had stage 4 cancer. Do you think that she might have gotten cancer within the first and the second biopsy?
Yeah, because the messing with the lump and everything. So I think probably got infected or something, and that caused her to have cancer. I'm not sure.
So the second biopsy that she done at the hospital, the public hospital, sorry, she never got that, even when she was in the hospital. She never got that, even after death. I was the one who picked that one up. But what are your thoughts, the fact that that result came out that she had stage 2 cancer at the time? How did you feel? Did you think that she was treated fairly with that biopsy? Do you think if she had gotten that biopsy, the time when she was supposed to get it, maybe something could have done?
Yeah, if we knew that she had stage 2 cancer, something could have been done. But at the same time, God made that happen for a reason, and can't question it because every single thing happens for a reason. And if God wanted her to be alive right now, He would have made she be alive. So everything played out. Not saying I would want her to be alive, but God knows His plans. So everything happened for a reason.
Are you saying that this is an act of God?
Yeah.
What makes you think that?
Because this is not related to grandma really, but you see how the world is running now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in the Bible it said He would take His people out of what's going to happen because you don't want them to experience what's going to happen. So I think He took her out before it started happening because He know that time is soon. So he took her out before she could even experience it.
So you're saying no matter what we do, if it's the will of God, then it's just the will of God.
Even though it hurts, he does it for a reason. And he took her out, it destroyed us, but it also built us in some type of way. So
How did it build you?
it made me look at life differently. It made me see how strong I am, because even though my grandmother is dead, who was basically my mother, I still have the strength, and because of her also, when she was alive, I know my strength, because she helped me to see certain stuff that I didn't know that I could see. Like for example, my strength, like stuff that we talk about and everything, mostly God. Yeah, that's what I think.
Okay. Fair enough. The hospital up to March, and we went down in February. When we went down, basically within 7 days, she was passed. When she passed, and you got the news that she's no longer with us, I'm sure you must have felt heartbroken.
My heart felt like it jumped out. I felt like I couldn't breathe. It was still unbelievable. I heard it from the doctor. And the minute that they called after 5 in the morning, I knew something was wrong, because my body, it just felt weak. So I felt it before I actually heard it. And I was shocked. Like I had no strength. I couldn't keep in the car, but at the same time it wasn't coming out properly. Like, you know when somebody cry like from the bottom of them belly come, like it feels like it come from the bottom of belly come straight up. I don't know if I explain it, but I felt really sad, really awful.
So when we got the call and we went to the hospital, and the doctor wanted to speak to us in the room, before you even saw your grandma, you had an idea that that's what he was going to say to you.
Yeah, because if they was calling for us to go and look at her, like if she was alive, they would let us just go wash our hands and go straight to the bed. But we had to wait for the doctor to go in the consultation room. So I knew.
So when I asked the doctor if we can see her, and he said sure, and you went and you saw her, she was still on the bed. What were some of the thoughts that came in your head?
My grandmother gone with me. I ain't doing real.
You hugged her and you were crying.
Yeah, 'cause I never want her to go.
This is having these kind of conversation. Does it make you feel some type of way?
Yeah, it gets me emotional, so I try not to really talk about it.
Before she passed, before she passed, she was explaining some stuff that was happening to her in the hospital, pertaining to the nurses and the doctors, some unhealthy treatment. Do you think that they treat her right enough?
No. When I tried them, I feel like I wanted to punch on them in their face, because my grandmother, like, obviously, her what's to say? Her body wasn't strong enough for her to help herself. Cause now my grandmother she not beg people for help her if she can't help herself. So like she asked me to help her to ease up off to fix properly so she can feel compatible. So I couldn't manage her myself. So I called the doctor to help. They gonna be like, Miss Ivy can be moving up and down, and that, you know. We are the doctors and we have other stuff to do. Blah 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 blah. Like they sound so annoyed of her, and I know that she felt so bad because she can't help herself, and that even made me feel more sad and upset. Like, if you're going to be a doctor or a nurse, do it because you genuinely want to help people. Don't do it because you want money. What the sense of doing that just to get money? If you genuinely love to help people, do the job, not because you want the money. Like, come on, you can't be treating patients like that. Suppose it was your grandmother or your mother or your auntie. You would want somebody to treat them like that.
Before we go any further, guys, if you like this program and it has touched you in some way, and you would like to see us continue with what we are doing in spreading cancer awareness and sharing health experience, please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't yet subscribed. Please like, share, and leave us a comment. Let us know how you feel and how this program is helping you. So, Joanna, when she was in the bed and you hugged her and you were crying, you know, you was in disbelief, you know, we were there until the point where the mortician come to pick her up, and they pull that curtain where you no longer can see her. Like, how did that make you feel to know that maybe, you know, your grandma is gone, really gone, you know, and they're taking away now, you know, you can't see her again? Like, did you feel hurt, broken, distraught, confused? Did it make you feel any type of way like that?
Yeah, especially like when they was trying to push her on the thingy, and I was like, I still wanted to see her. They was telling me to excuse her or whatever. They have to do their jobs, blah blah. I felt torn because I know that the next time I see her, I'll be seeing her in a coffin, and I wanted to spend more time with her. And this is the first time I've experienced a close family death. Like, I never experienced it before, and I never expected my grandmother to be gone because I always had plans. Like, when I grew up, I would build this big house where I would provide them with nurses and everything to take care of them. And to know that she's gone before I even gotten the chance to do that, I'm torn apart.
When she passed and you know that it's time for you to come back to the UK, was you thinking that you may never get the chance to go to the funeral? Was work supportive with you in going back to Jamaica?
There was like, ensure that you're back for the time that you say you're going to be back, and whatever. There were, in some ways, yes, because they didn't had to accept the holiday.
The time.
Yeah, they didn't have to grant me the time, but they did. So, yeah.
Okay. So you came back over into the UK and you had to be preparing again to go back to Jamaica for the funeral. And I'm sure you had mixed feelings and mixed emotions at the time going back to Jamaica. Because when you were coming from Jamaica the first time, she was there at the airport. And there's no doubt if she was alive and you're going to Jamaica, she would be coming to visit you at the pick you up at the airport or taking you back to the airport. But you realize then, oh, grandma is not there to really do none of that. Like, you know, you must have felt empty.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I know the feelings very well. So she was, so she passed March the 2nd,
Mm-hmm.
and knowing that, you know, March is just around the corner again. Like, are you mentally prepared to for that as a memorial of her death?
I don't think so. But in that time, then I'll know. Depending on how strong God make me be that time.
So you're relying on God to give you strength.
Yep.
What was the day of our funeral like for you? The church, the burial, the mourning. What was that day like for you?
Sad. I didn't want to experience it. I was still in disbelief. Felt drained emotionally and a bit physically.
When you saw her in the casket, how did you feel?
I was in disbelief. I was like, that's not my grandmother. That can't be.
A lot of people were saying that wasn't her.
But she looked peaceful, to be honest. She looked peaceful.
Did she look like your grandma? Because a lot of people said that, no man, that wasn't Ivy. And not Ivy that.
Yeah, she looked different.
She looked different to you. For me, she didn't look any different. Apart from, you know, she was a bit darker, obviously. But when they were saying that it wasn't her, she had a mark right here. I don't know if you know that mark.
The black spot?
No, like a burnt spot, right at her mouth, right there. That's the first thing I looked for when I looked in that casket. So I knew that it was her. That mark, I would say somewhat some form of a burnt mark, I don't know. But when we arrived at the burial site, you know, people was mourning, people was, you know, your cousin, Akim, he was there. He took that casket, but then he's not here now. You lost also a cousin, and a grandfather, and a cousin, like a grand cousin. How did you feel losing so much people in 1 year, in such a short space of time?
I was like, God, what kind of test is 4 people in one? Who is it going to take? Because I don't know what kind of test is this. Like, I felt like I was going to just shut down the whole world. But then God did his thing, and then I gained back a little strength, and I was still the one trying to push everyone around, even though I was still feeling down and everything.
So, before your grandma died of cancer, what cancer meant to you before she died, and what cancer meant to you after she died? Give us a small synopsis of what were your thoughts of cancer before and after.
I didn't like cancer from the get-go because obviously it destroys people, it kills people, and to know that people losing their loved ones, it's still sad and everything. But I didn't expect it, my grandmother or anyone in my family or close to my family, close family, to like die from cancer. So this make it worse. No, I hate cancer. I don't like it.
So after she passed, it's like you even have more hatred for it
Mhm.
because it took someone that meant so much to you.
Correct.
Well, you know, we, as I said earlier, you know, we have to, you know, be strong in everything that we do. But earlier you stated that you had faith that God will bring her around.
Mhm.
But when you realize that she didn't make it, did it dim your faith in any way, or did you lose a bit of hope?
If questioning God is losing faith, then I guess, because I did question him. Why? But I was like, I had faith in you, and you still took her. What else should I do?
Was you a bit angry with him?
Not really, because at the same time I was saying he does everything for a reason. So I can't really question him much, because if it wasn't for a good cause, which we don't like hearing, he wouldn't have done it. And he alone knows our story, so he knows what he's doing.
Okay. Well, Joanna, I thank you for having this discussion with me and helping me sharing and spreading cancer awareness. When I decided to do this podcast, it was purely in honoring of my mom. And a few of my supporters reached out to me and asked me to extend not just cancer but doing cover other health topics as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, are you in agreement with what they said?
Yeah, I am. I am in agreement, because the more topics you come up with related to health and whatever, is the more you will draw attraction from people, and then it will get you to spread more awareness, because people will be sharing the videos and everything, and people also be learning. So the more they learn is the more that you will get your goal. So
Okay. Well, I appreciate you again, and I will be here always supporting you. I know that coming this year, you know, it's not going to be easy. But keep having your faith in God and trusting God still. One of your grandma wish is for us to surrender our life to God.
mhm.
And I think I am close to that wish to come true. What says you?
I'm still fighting, but I do want to.
Okay. Well, let's continue praying. Thank you for coming on this podcast.
No problem.